Tetley. So, my name is Carl. Welcome to my workshop and welcome to my YouTube channel. So last night I put out a video about my new to me ultrasonic cleaner. Well, I say new to me, it's brand new actually. I'm not implying that it's secondhand. So the video I put out about the ultrasonic cleaner has had a really good response, and I've had some excellent comments from you guys, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, I didn't really want to give it a bad press. I hope that it didn't come across that way, because it does have its uses, and it will have its uses, especially when it comes to the turbine. But it didn't clean the parts up quite as well as I was expecting it to. But I have another idea that I want to try. Now, I'm going to be making another video this morning in the workshop to do with the gas turbine, and doing a little bit of work on the mill as well that I won't film, just some painting work. But before I do any of that, I want to try something with the ultrasonic cleaner. So I'm going to drain all the fluid out of it, and then I'll bring you back in and we'll talk about what this idea is I've had. So in the reply to some of the comments that you made about the ultrasonic cleaner, I said that I would have been better off buying a 14 pounds 5 litre tub of isopropyl alcohol and just leaving the parts in that for a week, and no electricity required, and they would have come out a lot better. So here's what the experiment I want to do this morning is based on. I've taken the said tubs that I've used before many times. These are all takeaway plastic tubs that I save, and they're really useful for storing parts in and for cleaning things. And I put inside there my solvent of choice, which I'll show you in a minute. So the idea is I'm going to drain all the fluid out of the tank into a suitable container, and then we'll put these plastic tubs full of solvent with the lid on into the ultrasonic cleaner without any heating for very obvious reasons, and we'll give it an hour agitated at 40 kilohertz in the solvent and see what that does. I don't want to put solvent directly into the unit, but if we put the solvent into these plastic boxes, which are quite thin plastic, and we put the lid on so that it can't evaporate. I need to get the lid on these now actually, because I can really smell it and it's not good for you at all. We'll put the lids on, put it into the machine. That should then vibrate through the plastic into the solvent, and basically we're going to combine the best of both worlds, ultrasonic cleaning and the power of solvent. And we'll run it for an hour without any heat, obviously, as I said, and we'll see what that does. So I'm hoping a good test of this method is going to be this banjo bolt. It's the one I took from the low pressure fuel filter that was mounted on the outside of the nacelle and had got pretty grimy and pretty dirty, probably from sitting in a muddy yard somewhere for many years. So you can, I don't know whether you can see very well, but if I zoom in on it, perhaps I'll just give it some zoomage. Let's try and get it to focus. You can see it in there, it's really dirty, look. It's got impacted oil and grease and mud probably inside the banjo bolt itself, and some corrosion as well. So we'll see how it gets on with that. So just to appraise you of it, this is my general solvent of choice. I've had this for quite a long time. It's a 25 litre drum of CN20 cleaning solvent. This is an aerospace product, as you can see. It's made by PPG Aerospace, or PRC DeSoto, and anyone who works in the aviation sector will know the name PRC. They make a lot of solvent-based products and sealants and things like that. So if you look this up on the internet, you'll find from its MSDS that it is actually a blend of toluene and isopropyl alcohol. I'm not exactly sure about the ratio. I think it's 70-20, 70/30. Can't be 70/20, can it? Where did I go to school? 70/30 IPA to toluene. But anyway, as you can see from the label, it's the hard stuff. It's a big bucket of death, essentially. So let's see what it does. So there you are, look what lies beneath. I've drained all the fluid out of it now. And it must have done something. You know, it's worked reasonably well, because you can see all the detritus in the bottom there that's come off the bolts and the components. And you can see what I was talking about with regards to that needing a gauze filter, because 2BA, as I said, was the smallest thing I put in there, and that's on the verge of going down there, look. So anyway, once it's cleaned out, we'll get the boxes with the solvent coated bolts, or the submerged bolts submerged in solvent. You can tell that chicken tikka jalfrezi is my favorite takeaway. So we'll get this cleaned out, and then we'll get it set up and running. Okay, so what I've neglected to mention is that, of course, you can't run the unit with nothing in it, with no liquid inside it. Obviously, there's liquid inside the container, but not inside the unit. So I put about 1 litre of water in there, which has almost come up to the top of the lid of the container that's got the solvent in it. And that is allowing the ultrasonic vibrations to travel through the water and into the plastic box and through into the solvent. And I'll turn it on and just show you now, just for a couple of seconds, and you'll see the agitation happening through the plastic lid. I'll zoom in a little bit for you so you can see. I'm not going to speak when I press the button, because the microphone really detests this ultrasonic unit. It really picks up the noise. So I'll just do it for a brief period so you can see it, and then we'll carry on. So hopefully you saw there the agitation taking place in the solvent. So I'm going to move the cleaner now to another part of the house, because I don't want this running in here whilst I'm trying to work and trying to record as well, because it will just be a non-starter. So that's the buzzer, well, buzzing. We'll come back when that timer's run down after an hour, and we'll see if it's done any good. And as I mentioned before, just to reiterate, no heating, because I don't want it to set my house on fire. Right, so the buzzer has finished buzzing, and I've moved it from the kitchen where it was back to the workshop, and I powered it back up, not to switch it on again, but just to show you that despite the fact that the heater wasn't on, it has got warm just through use. It's 61 degrees in there. So what that means is, because we all know about alcohols and solvents and what kind of temperatures they boil at, what we've got in here now is ultrasonically agitated boiling solvent. So if that hasn't done the job, I don't know what will. So let's take it out carefully. And yep, it's warm. And by the colour of that stuff, it looks like it's worked. So it hasn't evaporated, but I will tell you that when I took the lid off to have a look inside earlier on, the lid had a bow in it, so it was definitely gassing off, but not enough to push the lid off. You know, it's one of those things that I won't be able to leave it unattended. It has to be kept an eye on if I'm going to do this, because about 60 degrees is about as hot as you'd ever want that stuff to be. It is surrounded by water, but yeah. Anyway, we'll get the lid off it and see what's occurred. Right, I think it's safe to say that that has worked. It's a success. those horrible dirty bolts are now nice and, oh, nuts rather, are now nice and clean. All of them. So I'll get all these bits out of here, and we can reuse that solvent. It'll be okay to use again. So I'll get all the parts out, and I'll bring you back. So that is without doubt an unqualified success. Much cleanness. I'm very, very happy. So that's the end of that one, guys. Another video down on the ultrasonic cleaner. I hope you enjoyed it, and I think you'll agree with me that that was definitely a success using the solvent. It has to be done with care, but it works really, really well, combining the power of the solvent with the agitation level of the 40 kilohertz, you know, in the ultrasonic cleaner, and also the heat as well. I think worked a little bit to help the solvent to do its thing. Don't want to see it get any warmer than 60 degrees though, and definitely not something to be left running unattended. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you for all your comments. If you're not subscribed, please do so, because I'd love to have you along for the journey with the milling machine and also with the gas turbine engine. I'd love you to give me a like. That always helps. It boosts me up in YouTube's eyes. You know, I'm always looking for validation from these people. It helps me to move the channel forward, basically. So thank you again, and I'll see you all next time.